Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Hole in the Wall, where we bring you news stories from around the wide world of gaming. On today's show, we'll talk about an article covering Wizards' future plans for Universes Beyond, talk about some spoilers for Avatar that started getting revealed today, and we're gonna discuss Halo coming to the ps5 and a couple more stories, but for now, let's dive into today's program. Spoiler season has begun. So there was a couple of live streams today on Twitch for Avatar. Unfortunately, I missed all of them. But what we do have is this Collecting Magic the Gathering article for Last Airbender. This is really similar to what they had for Turtles not too long ago. So, enter the Avatar state with raised foil Avatar Aang. So, is this the only card that's going to get this treatment?
It might be. I mean, it could be their showcase card of the set. They like to highlight one specific card.
Yeah,
Sounds like a good one to do.
the foiling on this looks insane.
Yeah, I can't wait to see that like in person. Well, as much as in person as I can. I'll
Yeah.
probably never see the card in real life, but
a
pictures of it.
yeah, a photograph on Facebook, yeah, or
Yeah.
like in a case somewhere. Oh, were you a big Avatar fan growing up?
I I grew up like a little bit before it, so it was there, but it wasn't really something I watched. I watched it as I got older, and I loved it. Great series. Um, it's the anime that isn't an anime, you know?
Yeah. So I don't have the level of background knowledge that I had for something like Ninja Turtles or Lord of the Rings. So maybe you can kind of be our guide here as we dive deeper into these spoilers.
I will say before you even dive in, as far as Universes Beyond sets go, Avatar is a pretty close to form. I guess it's pretty magic adjacent if you're being honest about it, because I mean they're controlling the elements with their bodies. I mean, sounds pretty magical to me if you ask.
Yeah, I think it fits a lot better than even you could argue some of the recent hat quote unquote sets like Thunder Junction or Duskmorn. Like, I think from what I've seen and what little I know about Avatar, it reminds me of kind of, I think it was Portal 3 Kingdoms was the magic set that had a lot of Chinese influence, and this kind of feels like a new evolution or an update to that. Like, feels a little bit more natural to the game than something like Ninja Turtles, for example.
Yeah, so
So these
very
are,
very thematic.
yeah, yeah, all on point as far as like that's something we'll talk about later too, is like universes beyond as a whole. But it seems to me like the closer you get to the actual realm of Magic the Gathering, like the better the set is received. At least that's how it's gone so far. But these are character on battle pose cards. So this looks like, I'm guessing, the water element, fire element. Weird that these are just vanillas. I'm assuming these are textless versions of
Yeah,
cards
those
here.
yeah, those are the textless arts of them. It's cool that we're getting more textless arts. I mean, very collectible, and especially with those poses and the art and the shading and stuff. Very iconic for the series.
Yeah, call me old fashioned, but to me, I don't know what Fire Lord Zuko does, right? So a textless version, I, I don't think I've seen the original, right? So immediately I'm kind of bouncing off of these from like a playability standpoint, but it's not like everyone doesn't have a smartphone in their pocket and could just pull the text of the card up if they really had to and show it to you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, depending on the scarcity of these cards, I doubt anybody will actually be playing with them. But hey, to each their own. Different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, if it's your commander, you got it in a nice case or something, I could see you bringing this to the table.
Yeah, yeah.
So these are source material cards, kind of similar to the naming scheme they had from the Turtles previews. These look like just straight up screen caps from the show, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, pretty iconic moments, and it's kind of hard to see because the image is a little blurry. But if you look at the bottom, like where it talks about the set, it actually highlights the episode that that scene is from.
Oh, that's really cool. Oh, I see it. 61, and then the other one's 36. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's a really good splash, especially for people that aren't into the show. They're like, that's a really cool moment. Where can I find that? You can go on Netflix and look up episode 61.
And there it is. These I immediately like a lot more. Also because it looks like these are treatments of extant cards, right? Like, here, I think you could take the text off of these and I would like them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I like these cards in the same vein I like the bonus sheet for Spider-Man. I like when, especially with Universes Beyond, if there is an original source, highlighting that specifically just to add more of the touch from the other series into the game.
Yeah, it's really cool. And, like, Turtles is doing the black, white, and red like the OG comics were. Like, it's really nice touch.
Yeah, the only thing that I would say, and it looks like they still haven't got it too right, is just the formatting of these, specifically with like the text and everything, because it's okay to have some negative space, but like it's taking up the whole scene, especially with that lifelong friendship. They could have just dropped it, just
Yeah, yeah.
hit the enter key a few more times,
Yeah.
and it would have been perfect. But
Oh, man, I can't unsee it now. Like, at first it didn't bother me, but, like, compared to Force of Negation right next to it, I can't unsee that. Just drop it down a little bit, guys. It's okay.
yeah, so maybe they'll get it right eventually. But hey, one man's great.
I mean, even if you want to leave instant on Appa, is that who that is?
It is Appa.
Yeah, just leave it on his arm right there and drop it down. Like, I think that'd be fine. And at the end here, we have epic showdowns on scene cards. These are really cool, where it's two together and they make a kind of a, not a full panorama like they did with Double Masters, but something pretty similar. These remind me a lot of the World Martial Arts Tournament set in the Dragon Ball Super card game.
Yeah. Well, if you read a little bit lower, it says they have multiple card scenes for each different book, which that's what they call the major chapters in the show. So they had so the as it goes on, the scenes get bigger, and like it says, a massive 9 card scene, which I guess would be akin to the collage type cards we got in Spider-Man.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I didn't see that. So, book one and book. Okay. Relive the excitement from book one, two, and three of Avatar The Last Airbender with scene cards. We've recreated the climax of each book across three different collections of scene cards. Book one is a 4 card scene, book two is a 6 card scene, book three is a massive 9 card scene that's befitting of the series finale. Non foil and traditional foil scene cards are available in play and collector boosters. I like that touch. They're going to be available everywhere. And standing corrected from just a few minutes ago, this is a larger scene, but just these 2 cards together look really nice. So maybe you won't have to collect the full 9 card uh, panorama, for lack of a better term, to get like satisfying bits of art. I think that's really cool too.
Yeah, and you pointed out too. I like how they put these in regular play boosters. Like I know the bonus sheet cards should be in there too, but they got to give people some reason to open play boosters, right? Like befitting collectors. I mean, like just the regular Joe Schmo that says I like Avatar. Let's open a pack. Like give them at least some reason to open it, and
Yeah,
stuff like this is a really good touch without it breaking the proverbial bank of collector boosters.
I do like cards being available outside of the collector boosters, like these extra treatments. I think that over time we've kind of seen a lot of cool things slowly get shifted to the more expensive products, just in collectibles in general, but especially in Magic, right? So I think it's nice that they are doing this for Avatar. Have they announced the set size yet?
I want to say they did, but I can't remember it off the top of my head. It's like 280 something.
Okay, so it'll be a regular draftable set. It won't be a pick two
Yeah.
set.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, so ostensibly a lot of play boosters will get opened, and these shouldn't be that difficult to collect. You know, if you're going
Yeah.
to your locals and playing limited.
And I would also say it helps just the overall values just for the play standpoint because people want to play Zuko and now they don't have to spend an arm and a leg. There will be the multiple printings where they can just get the base copy for relatively cheap and then say, hey, Avatar's my favorite set. Like we have a buddy who's all big into Avatar and he's really looking forward to Uncle Iroh. And if they make a couple Uncle Irohs with higher rarities and cool treatments, I'm sure he'll buy all of them just because that's what he wants. So just giving the option is really nice.
Yeah, I have no idea who Zuko is, as I was saying earlier, but my man's looking like Sasuke right here. Like, he looks tough.
Cool dude. Probably a good redemption arc, I would say, definitely.
Oh, so he is Sasuke. Okay. Next up, they also hit us with a Cabbage Man secret layer. You know a little bit more about this than I do.
My cabbages.
Is that like a recurring thing?
For the folks at home or the uninitiated, it was a running joke throughout the series. There was a man that sold cabbages in a cart, and peppered throughout the series, his cart would always get destroyed by whatever antics Aang and the gang were doing. So it was always just something spectacular and ridiculous. And now they get to relive those iconic moments of a poor man and his cabbage business failing.
I gotta say, this putrefy art goes so hard with the giant flies everywhere. Is that from the show?
That I cannot remember. I don't think there was a plague of flies that destroyed his crops. I just normally remember his cart getting smashed by blocks of earth or what have you. So
Man, I hope people buy a lot of these and somebody sells me one of these putrefies. Like, that's sick. Also, here we have Anguished Unmaking, which is kind of a weird card in Commander. Sometimes I've. Well, not sometimes. I feel like it used to be quite a premium removal spell, and then over time, I feel like it's lost popularity despite still being pretty efficient at being able to just exile anything. Nature's Claim, however, is a premium artifact or enchantment removal spell in Commander. You don't care about giving your opponent 4 life, it's fine. If you're not playing Nature's Claim in green, I think you should be. Meltdown is pretty strong, especially with all the mana rocks going around, and a lot of people play treasure tokens, so you can really punish people for kind of dipping into those strategies. And Chain of Vapor, this is a really interesting inclusion. This card was a kind of like Anguished Unmaking was a lot more popular in the past, but I don't think its power level has really gone anywhere. It's just less popular than it used to be. Do you have a standout favorite here? And interestingly, also, none of these cards I think are very expensive. You will not be making your money back on this layer.
Yeah, I think the most expensive card in here is the Chain of Vapor. I think at time recording is like $7.
Yeah.
So not too much as far as a monetary value, but you don't really get Secret Layers for monetary value these days. You mostly get it for the artworks, and that's been showing. And I think the fans of the Avatar, they know the joke, they get the joke, so they'll love to get cards like this, even just to collect. I mean, the Anguished Making alone is just hilarious to see. It's just the crying man in the rain
Yeah, that's a
over some
really good
cabbages.
one.
So overall the theme is very there and the art is sick. But yeah, it's definitely not, the prof would definitely give it a low rating.
Yeah, this is an F. Just in general, Avatar spoiler season is here. We're about a month out from the set being completely released. We started to get Spider-Man previews. I want to say the week before Gen Con, maybe 2 weeks before. And
Yeah, the big ones were around Comic Con.
yeah, so it was July, and then that set didn't come out until September. Do you feel like with 7 sets coming out next year, 6 sets, 7 sets, I don't even remember, but with that much product coming out, ostensibly every month will either be a set release or a spoiler season for a set release. How do you feel about that level of attention that you're gonna have to pay to the game to keep up with it?
Well, I mean, it's going to keep us busy.
Yeah,
It'll give us something to talk about, that's for sure.
yeah, plenty to
And
post.
we've together have played histories of card games, and some have very slow movement when it comes to product and announcement news, and then you have this, which is probably the fastest I think it'll ever be in terms of card game history. So it's it's the more, what am I trying to say? The more I see the news and announcements, the more that statement from way back when hits rings more and more true, that every Magic set is not for everyone. Like it's at this point, it's fiscally and feasibly impossible to invest in every set all the time, unless you're just one of those crypto bros that just make millions of dollars and you have fuck you money. It does. I mean, most of the regular folks like you and I don't see it happening. I mean, for me specifically, I invested in Innistrad Remastered, which feels like a lifetime ago, and
Yeah,
Spider Man, and then I bought a precon or two. I can't even remember which ones I bought this year, but I bought a precon or two, and that's pretty much it as far as my investing goes, or at least purchase history rather. And it's just there's just too much. I mean, it's fun to look at, and I think the best way to do it is just pick the cards you want. I mean, buying the singles is honestly the way to go. It has been for the longest time now, and it just rings more and more true. Like if you like an art, just buy the one copy of it. If you need a upgrade to your deck, just buy the one copy of it. It's just getting to the point where it's just ridiculous at this point. Just
yeah,
almost a parody of itself.
yeah. It seems to me like they're gonna get to a point, and maybe they're already there, and we just don't know it yet. That standard is gonna kind of become untenable, just as a format, right? Outside of digital, because all of your standard events are already nosediving in attendance. There was a spotlight series that happened last weekend, I want to say, and it had a third of the attendance of a standard Spotlight series in January. Weather's a lot better in October than it is in January in our part of the world, so it doesn't make sense that more people would travel in January than October. So it seems to me like the popularity of the format is already nosediving. A big complaint, other than just power level of cards, is that it's expensive to keep up with Standard. And with every set being printed into Standard next year, either you're going to have entire sets that have nothing of Standard like power level in them, and people just skip the whole set, or you're going to get to this weird place where a lot of singles in the format are 20, 30, 40, $50 because let's say you skip Ninja Turtles and there's a sorcery, a mythic sorcery in there that you need for your control deck. It's probably not just you that didn't buy that set. A lot of people didn't. So the population of singles on the market is going to drop. It's kind of a long-winded way of saying that the format is going to be way too expensive for the people that you want to participate in it.
Yeah, and there's not really much of an incentive these days to even play in those formats. I know the Pro League and Spotlight Series aren't, like you said, they just aren't bringing people out. So what's the point of even going to events like that? It's just they're in a weird spot where they want people to play the formats, and they're heavily investing with it by making all these sets, set after set, making everything legal for it, but just not giving enough incentive at the end of the day for people to even go out and play.
Basically, I think the only way they can save the format is you can't just ban Vivi and Cauldron, right? You're going to have to ban like 15 cards out of Standard, and then everything in Lorwyn is going to have to be so juicy and not only powerful but like fun to play that it'll push the other like couple of years of cards out of the format, and then we'll play in this like weird Final Fantasy forward like block constructed thing. But I don't know if that's really possible either. It's an unenviable task trying to fix Standard right now.
Yeah, I, at the end of the day, I mean, they're just out to make money because they're a business, and the numbers don't lie. The product is selling, but I think it's selling for the wrong reasons, and they're not going to be able to get themselves into a unique spot where people are just dying to play their formats they want them to play without giving more of a reason and making more accessibility and more fun archetypes and stuff to play with.
I totally agree. It's become less about the text on the card and more about the image and the name.
Which is a good segue if you don't mind me saying.
Very true. Our next topic tonight is Universes Beyond at large. So MTG Rocks talked about the recent investor call that happened for Hasbro, and unlike about 10 or 15 years ago, Magic was largely the topic of discussion. We're not going to read the article here like in detail, but basically the main point I wanted to take away from it is this quote here, where Chris Cox, he's the CEO of Hasbro, if I'm not mistaken, said that he was asked about how he acquires these deals for Universes Beyond in general. And on that note, he had this to say: I think if you can conceive of a collaboration that we could do with Magic the Gathering, we probably have inked a deal or are in conversations on a deal on that. End quote. So it sounds to me like anything that is Magic adjacent enough that they think it will tangentially fit in the game, they will try and get. And it sounds to me like they're walking into meetings and they're the ones kind of setting terms for the most part. We know that not to be true with Marvel because of the whole digital rights kerfuffle. But Wizards has basically confirmed that Universes Beyond will continue for at least 5 years. And the question I wanted to ask you, Nemi, and the listeners, and we can just chew on this for a while, is how does Wizards get off the train of Universes Beyond? And is it even possible for them to do so?
I mean, from from the cynic in me, the only way I feel like Universes Beyond ends is when the business starts to fail. So when the money stops flowing in, when people stop shilling out, when the scalpers start leaving to other ventures, I think that's when it stops and then go to something else. But it's it's gonna be tough because looking at other calls and stuff, I don't know if you saw it, but Magic is 2/3 of Hasbro's business
Yeah. Yeah.
essentially. So it's their moneymaker and it's making money. I mean, people and content creators and people bitching online. I mean, be damned. Like people are buying it, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. They they're gonna collab with as many people as possible to bring more people into the game, even if they're not, even if they're just to buy the cards just to have it on your wall. I mean, they're gonna do it, and that quote just kind of solidifies it. I don't see a world where we don't have universes beyond going forward indefinitely. The only thing I can think of is if they run out of IPs.
Yeah, and I don't even think that's where it'll stop because with The Hobbit, they've already shown us that they're not scared to go back to the well and drink again. You know, they
Yeah,
will, they will go back to Final Fantasy. I can almost guarantee it. We're already going back to Marvel, even though it's kind of like a weird release schedule on that.
yeah, and you see things like Star Trek coming out next year. What's the other big IP that's out in the world that people haven't thought of yet?
I don't
Has
know,
Star in it.
man. Do you think with Star Wars Unlimited existing that they can get a Star Wars collab?
Well, they have. I mean, Final Fantasy has a card game that's still in business.
Yeah, that's true.
Marvel has card games that are still in business. So I don't see why Disney wouldn't. I mean, they're already dealing with Disney with Marvel.
Can you imagine
Darth Vader fighting Jace. Can you believe it?
Darth Vader fighting Jace, fighting SpongeBob, fighting the T Rex from Jurassic Park?
And someone with Sonic the Hedgehog in their deck. What a wild time. And I mean, I know there's all the doomsayers that saying Universes Beyond is killing the game and it's diluting the fan base and players, but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, it's cool. I mean, people like their IPs, and there's more IPs out there than just the Magic ones. And granted, Magic has been the card game for the past 30 years, but it's just bringing more and more people into the game one way or another. And honestly, it's a cool thing. Like, I know me specifically, I had no interest in Magic whatsoever. And my favorite franchise of all time is Fallout. I think I've already explained it before. And then they made the Fallout set, and that got me into the game. And now I'm investing way more money than I should on cardboard. So I think it's good. People don't like it, and people can grumble and say this isn't real Magic, but the cards are here. They're not going anywhere for the foreseeable future. And not saying get over it, but saying just kind of you have to embrace it one way or another, or don't engage, play with a set that doesn't have it, stick to cubes, things like that.
Yeah, I think that you really hit the nail on the head, or rather, kind of made me realize something that there is this pervasive sentiment in old Magic players that Universes Beyond is bringing the wrong kind of people to the game. People that will come, play for one set, oh, there's no Final Fantasy stuff in the next set, I quit, right? And in my anecdotal experience, and this is experience of people I've heard elsewhere online, people that work in collectible stores, what have you, that Wizards' business model of attracting people to the game with different IPs works. Those a lot of times those people stay and become in franchise players. Now, you as a old school Grand Prix jammer like myself might not consider Commander players Magic players, but they're the ones that are moving the hobby right now. We were talking a second ago about Magic, or Wizards rather, attempting to fix Standard. And you said at the end of the day, it's a business. And ultimately, if the attendance is down at these events, the money is not in fixing Standard. The money is in printing as much as you possibly can. And when people show up to Friday Night Magic, not turning those people away because they want to play their 60 card Leonardo Brute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's a modern set. You can't play that here. They're trying to get rid of that.
And if you think about it too, like people that like Magic, I can guarantee you they like more than one thing that's not Magic, right?
Right.
Like the IP is cool and there's such a lore and history behind it, but that's not the only thing out there. Like people like Magic and people like Star Wars, or people like Magic and people like Doctor Who. So it just makes sense to combine the two if you think about it. And it's just a really cool thing. It's the Fortnite of card games, and funny enough, Fortnite is in this game too. So
Yeah.
so it's it's just one of those things where you just look back and go, "Oh, that's pretty neat," even if you don't want to engage with it. I mean, granted, if you play standard, you kind of have to, but it's just something that's if you thought about it either even 10, 15 years ago, something like this, like it was just inconceivable. Like, could you have thought? Could you imagine the cards that are printed nowadays
No.
back when you were playing?
No. No. If you had told me in 2009 that in 2019 Walking Dead would be a thing, right? That's the first Secret Lair, the first collab, if I'm not mistaken. I would,
Yeah.
me and probably every other Magic player in the building would have laughed you out of the comic store. Like, Magic was not only a niche group in those days, being a card game in pre-COVID times, right? But it was the elitist branch of the niche group, right? Like Magic players did not, and I hate to say this, but it's true, did not really respect Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh players in the way that they do now. Like now you'll see on YouTube professional Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh players collabing all the time, or Hearthstone players or whatever, like looking at cards from each other's games and talking about tournament etiquette and rules and strategy, and kind of really there's this cross pollination of ideas between games. And back in the day, it was not that way. So if you were to tell me that not only the hard nosed snobs of the collectible world, but the hard nosed snobs of the collectible world had SpongeBob SquarePants in the command zone, uh, I think I might have melted into my shoes.
Yeah,
Like,
it's so crazy the world we live in now, and it's it's honestly just something you gotta be along for the ride for, and at the end of the day, it's not for everybody. I mean, I get it. Like there are the purists out there that say not in my card game, and that's honestly a fine. That's a
Well,
valid point to
I mean,
have. And
kind of, but it's not your card game, right?
yeah,
Like, it's everybody's game. And I think that now that the game includes everybody and not just people who didn't really feel like they fit in other places, um, those people that kind of came to the comic stores and collectible shops and came to trading card games to get away from, for lack of a better term, like social aspects of gaming. Um, Now the social format is the most predominantly played part of their game, and I think that you're seeing a reaction to that in a lot of different ways online.
yeah. In this day and age, it's just so easy to get a new player into it. Like you have a buddy, you're like, hey, I know my friend is the biggest Final Fantasy fan out there. He has all the games. He's got collectibles. He goes to Japan and buys stuff on the regular, but he doesn't play Magic. I can show him the Final Fantasy set, and he will enjoy it. Like, how many times have you saw someone play a card game with an IP that doesn't really like the IP? Like
Other
they,
than me,
yeah, they almost immediately fall out of it because there's just nothing to connect with.
right?
And with the OG Magic being it's kind of honestly gate kept
Yeah,
because it's just lore and stuff that you just couldn't attach to because it's nothing you've heard of before. But you show somebody a commander deck with their favorite character on it, that gets more people inclined to play it because they're like, oh, this is someone that I know, and this is something I can play with too, and then you can start building those interactions and adding more stuff and swapping stories and trading cards and building something that's this hodgepodge of just absurdity that makes everyone happy at the end of the day.
right. And I mean, we did that, right? Like, we had a friend that was an active, not just like I don't play Magic, played other card games, played Dungeons and Dragons, actively hated Magic, right? Final Fantasy came out, they dipped their toe in the water, and now they're one of the most enfranchised players we got. Sometimes they're playing 2 and 3 nights a week.
Yeah. So it's very like I mean it's very anecdotal for at least on our side, but we've seen it. So it's really brought more people into the game and it just brings more people together to do something that's on an even playing field. We can all play this card game that now everybody can have some form sort of stake in and be invested in one way or another. And I think that's cool.
Yeah,
You literally can't see that with other card games. So having something like this is just it's the Smash Brothers of cards,
yeah. Everyone is here.
or will be.
Yeah. So I think that's a good point to wrap up our discussion about universes beyond. Basically, our thoughts are it's not going anywhere. Um, until Wizard stops making money, and that will be a delayed process, even if there's a major backlash against a set just because of the distribution model that Wizards uses. You know, it will take time for that to change, even after the tide turns. So, for now, Universes Beyond is here and doesn't look like it's leaving.
Yeah,
But
for
we
the
do,
naysayers, just buckle up and grumble, and make your comments heard. But it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be it's hard to see the weird stuff coming out.
yeah. next up we have a update to a story we've been talking about for a couple weeks now. There's a manufacturing delay on the PlayStation Secret Lairs. Nimby, you brought this to my attention literally right before we started recording. So, do you have a better grasp on this, or should I just read straight down?
Well, as of reading, essentially, long story short, they are saying there is a raw material component they use in production for the secret layers, I guess specifically. And at the end of the day, they don't really get too specific about it, but it just says their manufacturing schedule is impacted. Now, what that looks like, they don't say, and we honestly don't know because it doesn't say what was affected and what wasn't. But I know, at least from Spider-Man, the secret layers that happened a month ago, those have come out and started to get sold and are on the market. The Scaretacular
Secret
ones,
Scare?
Secret Scare, thank you. The Secret Scares, those should be shipping this week. I know I got one of the Jaws secret layers, but haven't got an update today. So jury's still out on that. And then the PlayStation Secret Layers, they said it was a shipping date of November 7th for US. So, for all intents and purposes, it should still be on track. But as of right now, there are delays somewhere.
Yeah, just about a week or two delay on that. If I had to guess, if it is something that is specific to Secret Lair, it's either packaging or foiling that I would imagine that they are behind on. If it's packaging, I totally believe the November 7th ship date. If it's foiling, it might be Christmas time before those come in. Because that would mean that they aren't even printed yet.
Yeah. And it's even more so of a delay for UK and EU regions. So,
Yeah.
because you can see the shipping status updates for the Secret Scare and the PlayStation, and the times that I quoted were for the U.S. because we're obviously U.S. based, but some of them go as far as December. I think for the PlayStation ones. So yeah, December for EU, December 30th through March
Oh.
30th is
Oh,
the expected
no.
shipping. So it looks like it could be Europe specifically, but again, since they haven't said, we this is all just speculation. So take your grain of salt and dab a little bit before you take the shot of our information dump.
If we get any more info on this, we'll be sure to include it in a future episode. But speaking of PlayStation, we have a very interesting story from the world of gaming. I'm just going to let this trailer run and we will discuss.
Oh, 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 it's a copyright. Oh,
No, you're too close. They'll still strike us.
just strike our 2 subscriber channel now.
No, we're ruined.
So, Halo on the PlayStation. These were the jokes we made as kids that we never thought would happen. And now that now in the year of our Lord 2025, here you can see wart on on a PlayStation.
That is again, if you had told me this in 2009, I would think you were not only a time traveler but on drugs. Um it seems to me like this is just another move from Microsoft where they're trying to be less of a console manufacturer and more of a software developer and kind of focus their efforts on PC gaming. I mean, we talked recently about the recent price hikes in Xbox and that leading to some retailers pulling them from their shelves. And this is just another step away from being a console manufacturer. Nimi, were you an Xbox guy or a PlayStation guy growing up?
So I've been back and forth, I guess, to be honest. Like I started with the PS1 because my sister got it for her birthday, and then I got a PS2. Switched over to the 360. I feel like I had the progression most people did, but switched over to the 360 in my teenage years. And then as I got into college, it was back over to the PS4. And then I got a PS5 and stuck with it since.
Yeah, for me, it was Sega Genesis, Nintendo 64, Xbox 360. A little bit of a gap there. But
Big jump, big leap.
yeah, yeah. I do remember saving up and buying my 360, and the first game I did get was Halo 3. And now a new generation of PlayStation gamers will be able to experience Halo. This is Combat Evolved, right? This isn't some kind of collection.
Correct. This is Halo 1, and if I remember correctly, this is involved this also has the PC exclusive levels on it as well.
Okay.
So essentially Halo 1, and it says campaign evolved, so I'm assuming it's just the campaign, no multiplayer, so sad day. But there will be co-op, so get your friends, play some Halo, and honestly, why not, right?
Yeah, seems like a really interesting direction to go from Microsoft. I really don't know what else to say. Like, this is such a through the looking glass moment if you're a long time gamer like Nemi and I.
Yeah, one of the top comments of the YouTube video, this would kill someone if shown in 2007. Oh, you hit the nail right on the head with that one. It's
Oh man.
it's just the craziest time to be alive. And honestly, this is like the first nail, if not the final one for Microsoft, at least on Xbox, and from an Xbox standpoint,
Yeah.
because as we talked about a few episodes ago with them price hiking the Xbox consoles themselves, like now that they're making their exclusives available on a more affordable console, what's the point in getting the Xbox, right?
Right. Yeah, you made an excellent point because I remember when Sonic games started appearing on Nintendo consoles. And I thought, yeah, Dreamcast is the last console that Sega will ever make. And I think that's where we are now. I don't
Yeah.
know. I mean, they're going to do their handheld with ROG, right? With the Asus ROG Ally. They're going to do some kind of Microsoft handheld with that. And I think after that, they're done.
Yeah, especially since they want to have more of a streaming cloud style of service. Like it doesn't make sense to have it on a console that's more expensive that doesn't do it, give you more. And at that point, price point, like I think what it was, like almost $800 or more at that point, just buy a PC.
Yeah.
there's there's literally no upside to having a console when you could just do it all on a PC and future proof yourself. So this is a wild time. I didn't think the console wars would end in
A whimper.
such a whimper. Yeah,
Yeah.
a whimper. But this is definitely the start of it. This just reminds me of Reach, if you remember playing that one, where it's just one by one, noble team just goes away.
Yeah.
This is the start of it.
Godspeed, Spartans.
And hello, the blue brand.
So, for the moment of Zen tonight, I just wanted to bring up Dispatch and the insane voice cast that we've got. I don't want to spend a ton of time on this. We're getting towards the end of the show, but so I'm just gonna run down some of the list here. Uh, Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad, Matt Mercer, and the entire Critical Role crew is also here. You have Moist Critical, Charlie, as the voice of Sonar, a Bat character. Joel Haver. If anybody watches a lot of YouTube shorts, they might be familiar with Joel Haver. He is also a voice in the game. Thought Squad, the comedy rap artist, has a track in the game and also does a voice. Also, speaking of comedy rap, you have Young Gravy, Liam O'Brien, just a insane voice cast here.
You can't forget the other big one,
What am I missing? Who am I missing?
Jacksepticeye.
Where's Jacksepticeye?
He's Sean McLaughlin.
Oh my god. Of course they would make him an Irish guy.
Yeah, it's honestly insane. And I was a big fan of the Telltale games when they first started coming out with The Walking Dead. Like hit the net, hit the iron while it was hot with that one, and it just blew up from there. And this is just the spiritual successor of all that stuff. And I think it's a good thing to have. I wouldn't say YouTubers per se, but these more internet celebrities than your traditional movie and media celebrities. It just gets more people into it that are in the types of which mediums that this game is a part of.
Yeah.
So it just it just appeals to the right audiences rather than having some big name that doesn't really do much of the gaming space. Having people that are actual gamers be a part of this project, I think is a really cool and really uh, what's the opposite of tone deaf? I guess would be
Uh
tone full
on point?
with the kids.
Yeah, hip and with it. Yeah.
Yeah,
If by kids you mean like 30-year-old Critical Role fans, then hell yeah.
Hey, the 6 and the 7s, right? 6 7.
Hey, I don't know what that means. Um, but I will say that you made a really good point about how they actually have gamers doing voices in the game. And with the Critical Role crew, you get a really unique blend of actual gamer and talented voice actor. So these people can throw down at the gaming table and in the booth. And they can kind of balance out some of your maybe less seasoned voice actors like a Jacksepticeye or a Charlie, and kind of make them feel more natural, as opposed to just kind of.
Hey, I'm gonna let you finish, but don't knock Charlie's acting chops. He was in the Hunger
He
Games.
was in the Hunger Games. I forgot. Yeah.
So yeah, if you're a fan of video games and video game voice actors and talents, check out Dispatch. I know it's been blowing up quite a bit. A lot of people are talking about the game, and it's been doing really well. And
Yeah.
I know I can't wait to pick it up.
That's something I wanted to ask you about. Is how do you feel about the episodic nature of the release? I'm kind of split on it personally, and I'm hoping your opinion can kind of push me in one way or the other.
Well, I think it's interesting because you have people that will just engage with something if they really like it, and then just binge it all at once and then be done with it. I think it's really cool to have that like cooldown period. And I don't know if you played Telltale games when they were in their heyday, but it was quite a bit of time in between the episodes. I think a little more so, because I feel like if I remember right, for Dispatch, it's just every 2 weeks. There's
Yeah.
a couple chapters,
Yeah.
so a couple chapters to just digest. So almost like a TV series in that aspect, where you're getting that recursion essentially to come back and play more and figure out more of the story. And with the original Telltale games, it used to be like a few months before new episodes would come back, which was just much too slow.
Yeah.
Like people just completely forgot about it. They're like, "Oh wait, I'm playing this game. I forgot." But when you have something like this, I feel like it just gives you those. You're engaged with it from a longer period of time, at least until all the episodes are finished.
Yeah, it's
Where you
almost
have,
got like a water cooler vibe, right?
yeah, yeah, especially if you have people that are playing it from different Like if you're playing from work, like if you have your buddies, you're like, oh, did you play this week's episode? Yeah, I watched it and played through it. And it's really cool for people that like to stream the game too, because you have something to come back to and just follow up on. Just get people engaged more for a longer period of time versus just the one go around, if that
Yeah,
makes sense.
and your stream isn't locked into Dispatch for a week, right? You're gonna stream Dispatch for a couple hours over the course of like a month, you know? And I think that's really good for Telltale because it'll extend the conversation about the game. And then by the time a really large group of people, that weren't on that initial wave come to the game, like mid November when the finale's wrapping up, they'll be able to play the whole game in one like binge setting. So I don't
I
know.
think it's cool, and it's something you just don't see with games nowadays. Like I said, it was very prevalent with Telltale, but now that they're not really as active or around, to being honest, it's something different to see and talk about, which I think is what a game like this needed. Because if you just had the game out in full, like people play it once, be like, oh yeah, it's cool. But if you have more, not a gimmick per se, but more of a selling point, where you got to come back and experience more of the story, I think it's something interesting that helps it.
Yeah, I wondered if that marketing strategy could like benefit other genres or other titles. I would be interested to see somebody outside of Telltale experiment with that.
Yeah, I think early access, jokingly.
Yeah, yeah. Well, everyone, I think that's it for our program tonight. Uh, Nemi, do you have any kind words for the people as we close it up?
Well, you all have been awesome as usual. And for the people that are watched, thank you. Stay to the end. If there's something you want us to talk about specifically or something that you'd like to point out, please just let us know. And we'll do our best to get back at you and respond. I mean, we're pretty slow right now, so we should hear some. You should hear something back from us. And if there's a topic you want to hear, let us know. If you like us, let us know. If you don't like us, let us know. Um, Thanks again for listening to us for what it's worth, and we'll see you guys next time.